Hello, everyone. I'm Ruben, and this is my presentation for the horror game assignment. I hope you guys enjoy, and let me know what you guys think. So the name of my game is What's There. So this is some of the story for the game. You're welcome to read it on in your own time. But basically, you are a paranormal investigator who just started on the job, and you decided to explore an abandoned mall full of dark specters and entities. And now you decide that you have to exit the mall at all costs because it's too dangerous to be in there. So the winning condition of the game is exiting the mall, overcoming obstacles. So it's similar to snakes and ladders in the way that you have to follow a path and get to the exit. Some of the challenges are traps, frightening scenarios, limit of actions because you are limited to do what the cards tell you to do. I'll get on with it in a minute. The losing condition is getting killed by traps of enemies. So there are specific scenarios where you might have to go back to the start of the game. And uh, this is a competitive game. Two or more, one or four players can play it, and the first player that gets to the exit wins. Um, so it's a horror role board game, and the game creates nervous situations for players to surpass in order to move across the board to the exit. So the horror aspect of the game is more on the like the narrative of the game, and I'll get on with it in a minute when I get to the cards section. But this is the overview of the game. So what's there is a horror game for one or four players in which they have to move through the board from a starting location to the goal using a d6 to move spaces. So you throw the d6 and you move whatever number the d6 tell you to move. Uh, you decide with the other players in what how to take turns. In the board, there are spaces that requires the player to pick a card with fictional situations. And after reading the card, the player must take the d6, and depending on the resulting number, the characters will do an action that may be beneficial or prejudicial to the player. So this is the main mechanic of the game. When you get to like trigger boxes, you have to pick up cards, read them, and throw the dice. And depending on the number of the dice, you pick another card that tells you if you did a bad decision or a good decision, or if something good or bad happens, and where do you move from there in the board. Like I said, the game is won by getting to the Excel ball. So this is the board of the game. Uh, the starting point is the S. That's where all players start. The movement markers, that's where you're supposed to go. That's the gray boxes, dark gray boxes. They have arrows pointing you in what direction to move. The triggers are the light gray boxes. Like I said, this when you step on triggers, you have to pick up cards that with fictional scenarios and its own mechanic. The exit is the E on the corner. That's the goal. And the board limit is the X. So that's places where you can't move or go. Uh, yeah, they're like limits. So description cards. This is where the mechanic comes in. When you get to a trigger, the game will require you to take a description card. These are recognizable by the open book in the back and the corresponding number representing the trigger that you step up. So, for example, if I step on that first trigger that is next to the S, that's the trigger number one. So I have to pick like description card number one. Um, you can read here that it has like a fictional scenario and it has instructions to tell you what to do after you read the card. Um, After you read the card, roll the dice. Depending on the number in the dice, you must grab a good or bad card. So these are the next cards. Description cards will indicate if you grab a good or a bad card depending on the number that came out of the dice. So if you read up here where it says roll the d6, uh, if the d6 comes out of 1, 2, or 3, you must grab a good card, and if it's 4, 6, you must grab a bad card. So good and bad cards. Um, are the negative or positive outcomes of description cards. This has imagery or text that will make you go back to a certain point, or move along the normal path of the board, or allow you to take shortcuts, depending if it's a good or a bad card. And these also have numbers. So if you read description card number 10, you have to pick the correspondent good or bad card number 10. The difference between the two of them also is that the bad cards will make you lose the game, make you go back to the start, or make you go through the normal path, which is a longer way. And the good cards will let you take shortcuts. So this is playtest for you. If you wish to try the game for yourself, these are all the description and contents for all the description cards, the good and bad cards. You can see that there's a number and the spot that represents each description card, its instructions, and if you move along the presentation, you can see that there's the bad cards and the good cards. So I'm gonna do one just to like for you to understand the concept. So for example, if I step on the trigger 4, I'm just gonna description card 4 and read it. Uh, it says you get to the food court of the mall and you decide this is a good place to rest and relax for a moment. Then you hear a frying pan hit the floor of one of the stalls. What do you do? So now I must grab the d6, and if it's 1, 2, or 3, I must grab a good card. But if it's a 4, 5, or 6, I must grab a bad card. So I roll the d6, and it comes out a 5. Now I have to grab the bad card number 4, which is this one. When I grab bad card number 4, I flip it, and I see that image. And there's also text that says, you can see the kitchen from the front desk. It looks back at you. So that monster in the back, that's what was in the kitchen. And now I have to move left, as it says right there. I can't get the shortcut because I got a bad card, so I have to move through the normal path of the game. So that's basically how it goes, how it plays. You're going to try for yourself and let me know your comments, what to improve, what do you like, and what you didn't like. And so, yeah, that's it. I'll see you guys in the next project. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.